You are listening to Scars and Guitars, the podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and I hope, wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing, you are doing very well. What you're about to listen to is a very fun conversation between myself and Alexander Backlund from the band Letters from the Colony. They are from Sweden, and they have released a new album, an excellent new album called Vignette. We talk all about that, but I had some special questions prepared for Alex. I really appreciate the fact that he played along. Let's get to it. Here he is, Mr. Alexander Backlund. Look, I get a lot of releases, obviously, because I'm on the Nuclear Blast portal, but I really do love Vignette. I'm not just saying that to piss in your pocket, but it is a collaboration of melody and gentisms. But the thing that I really appreciate about the band is your sense of humour. Now, I don't know why Nuclear Blast can't mine the type of humour that you blokes offer more often, but the bass player audition vid was fucking hilarious. So you're a band that likes to have fun, so care to comment on that?
Well, yeah, we're pretty, we're all fucked up individuals. It's pretty much all I can say. I mean, as far as the, trailer videos go, we just thought, we were going to do something that's just us, and that ended up being what it is. And we actually had more, elaborate things planned.
Oh, mate, release them.
We bought,
unleash them.
Yeah, they're coming later. But we can get them together within the time frame that we sort of had. We bought 3 GoPros and filmed a bunch of action scenes in my car.
Wicked.
Almost blew out my engine, so that's coming later.
Is that the Holden Astra, or what do you call them in Sweden? You call them Opel or Vauxhall Astras, don't you? Opel, sorry.
Opel in Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, so the Holden's down here, but Opel up there. Is that car that was in the video that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's my beloved.
Your beloved.
It's a piece of shit car, but yeah.
Made a bit of synchronicity. My first car was a Volvo 240, and I know it's from Sweden, which is your great country, mate, but that was a heap of shit too. And that almost killed me.
Volvo, really?
It almost killed me a few times. Yeah, it was the engine, because they can't handle the heat in Australia. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's 30 below in Sweden, so that's what they're built for.
Yeah, if I ran into the side of a truck or the side of a house, I probably could have walked away from it. But, mate, it almost caught fire a few times, the engine, back in the day. This is about 23 years ago, by the way, so it's a long time ago. I'm sure Volvo have picked up their act since then.
I mean, they're pretty much Chinese company by now. So.
They are. You're right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I can't vouch for the quality of today's Volvos. I'm sorry.
What do you think is a Swede about all of that? What would you call it? The dissemination of the nationalism of some of the manufacturers there, because you were known for Saab, Saab, Volvo, Scania, but it's all offshore now, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's international.
Yeah.
It's, we've lost our Swedishness.
I used to love Saabs as a kid. I really did. I loved the shape of them. The rally cars I'm talking about. And as a consequence of the rally Saabs, I used to want to own one, but they're always out of my price range. And I think that was part of my inspiration behind buying a Volvo 240, when I probably didn't have the money back then to buy it, but I still paid the money that I did for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, Saabs are, notoriously bad, I think. I can't, stop thinking about that Top Gear episode where I think it's Brian May is driving those Saabs without a clutch. It's supposed to have a sort of automatic clutch, and he's trying to do some parallel parking on an uphill sort of road, and it just goes to shit.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I didn't see that one. I'm gonna YouTube that one after our discussion, actually, because I do love a bit of Top Gear.
Oh, sorry, James May.
James May.
I was listening to Queen earlier.
James May. I don't blame you for listening to Queen. They're a brilliant band. But mate, more about your wonderful
What is he called? James May?
Yeah, James May.
A brain fart.
No, you're right. James
good.
May. Yeah, Brian May from Queen,
awesome.
And James May from Top Gear. But let's just one more question about your wonderful album. So, Vignette, in your own words, can you describe what the album means to you guys? Is it the summary of, years or months of rehearsal, or is it something that's sort of come together fairly quickly?
Well, yeah, both yes and no. It was like I mentioned, some of the songs, they are from, some time ago. But all in all, I think the album, as it is, came together pretty easily and naturally. Considering, how different they are, really. So So but it definitely means a lot to us to finally get all the songs out there. And, that also means that we can begin working on some new songs, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, good on you. Yeah. Look, it's a killer release. It's up there with the album that Rings of Saturn released last year, actually.
Oh, really?
It's actually that good, mate. Yeah. So, look, as I mentioned earlier, I do get a lot of promos, not just from Nuclear Blast, but from other record companies, managers, and all the rest of it. And look, I listen to all sorts of things from blues and jazz to funk, which tend to be my pet styles, to be quite frank. But of course, I veer right into the really heavy stuff. But I have listened to yours more than a couple of times, actually. I tend to have it on around the house whenever I'm entertaining the kids and just doing domestic chores, if you like, because that's one of the only opportunities I get in between professional commitments and raising 2 kids and being a householder and all the rest of it, because I'm 39 years of age, so I'm at that stage of my life. But I do put on the albums in the background, and I found myself really getting into Vignette. You know that? I'm not just saying that, as I said, to piss in your pocket. I really found that the grooves and the melodies and, mate, the guitar playing's fucking fantastic.
That's very, very flattering. Well, I can't take credit for that, of course. That's all Sebastian, but yeah, we did work a lot together with the guitars as well. Like, I'm a guitar player more than I am a vocalist, if I'm going to be honest. So
yeah,
it's been fun working with him, and especially on like the cleans and the lead guitars as well. We did a lot of experimentation on those, tried a billion different guitar pedals to sort of find the sound.
Good on you. Yeah, it's great. Well, I can hear that. I can hear that it's been a labour of love, if I can call it that. I can hear the tens of hours of experimentation and focus and commitment that has gone into it, because you don't come up with a body of work like what you've produced on Vignette without doing what you've done and just described.
No, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
And the sort of most difficult part as well about that is we're trying to do, or we don't want to do anything that we can't reproduce live. So there's a lot of thought behind that as well, what guitar pedals to choose, that we can bring on the road and with the amps and everything.
Well, that's very admirable, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Most bands tend to use some sort of backing tracks or some sort of trick musicology, as I like to call it, in their stage show, and it just seems to be the way it is in 2018. And I mean, yeah, you do have a lot of very fast rhythms. There's a lot of things going on, particularly with a lot of the symphonic melodies that you've got throughout the music. So how do you recreate that live?
Well, yeah, it's like you said, a lot of bands rely heavily on backtracks, and I sort of really don't have any beef with that. It's not something I loathe particularly, but like, I guess we thought we like a lot of the old school, and bands just getting on stage and actually playing what they've written, and we try to do that as much as possible. So we have the Kemper like profiling amps,
great,
so we can have a few different amps for like the distortions and the cleans. So we use those in the studio as well to sort of get what's on the album is what you're going to hear live. And Sebastian has one of those Boss loop pedals, like the huge ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can record yourself and play.
Is that the brand new one that they've just released in the last 2 weeks or so that he's using now, or maybe not 2 weeks?
No,
sorry, it couldn't be. Sorry, last couple of months.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one actually. It's a few years old.
Okay.
I think it's called the Boss RC 300, something like that.
Yep.
So he's using that a lot live, and also when he's writing. So that's why some of the song structures are the way they are. If you listen to like Galax, for example, that huge outro that we got going on is just him, recording himself over and over, and just playing on top of that. So pretty much not a single backtrack in there except for a tambourine, I think.
Yes, from memory, that's about right. Yeah. What do you think it is about Sweden and producing wonderful guitarists? Okay, so one of my favourite guitarists of the modern era is Marcus Jadell. Okay, and then you've also got Yngwie Malmsteen. So, and of course your guitarist there. Sorry, I didn't catch his name earlier, but mate, Sweden is producing some magnificent metallically and rock themed guitarists. What do you think? What do you personally put that down to?
Well, yeah, it's a number of different factors. But I don't know. It's a freaking cold 10 months out of the year. So
Yeah.
people tend to stay inside. And, that maybe has something to do with it. I mean, like for myself personally, it's like growing up in a pretty small town in Sweden. Basically, there's music and there's sports. And I wasn't the sports guy. So I ended up playing music.
Yeah, gotcha. Whereabouts did you grow up? What was the town called?
It's we're still here. It's Borlänge in Sweden.
Is that in the mid to north part of Sweden, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty much dead center, almost.
Okay, right. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I've spoken to a ton of artists from Sweden over the last 12 months or so. So Christopher Johnson from Thorion, he's a brilliant artist he is. He's fantastic. Bjorn Strid, I think he's from Gothenburg though, isn't he? The bloke out of Soilwork.
Oh, yeah. He's from Helsingborg. It's a few miles south of Gothenburg. But he lives in Stockholm now.
So do you guys, if this is an ignorant question, okay, so I appreciate that before I ask it, but sometimes whenever I'm talking to people from overseas, they say to me, do you know Daniel Johns from Silverchair, or do you know this person, because Australia is seen as a small place, even though we're a big continent, but Sweden, there's a relatively compact musical community there, but do yourself and people like Eddie Berg from Imminence, and I've already mentioned Marcus Jadel from the awesome Avaterium and so on, do you guys connect very often?
I mean, we have our thing going up here in the north, and we're friends with a ton of bands. But I think it's an even bigger thing in like the bigger cities like Stockholm and Gothenburg, and we're not really a part of that.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Yep. All right, we're going to change track completely now. We're going to take a 90-degree turn, like I said at the beginning of the discussion. And I'm going to have some fun here because I feel inspired to do so. So let's do it. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so question 1, divided into mini segments, is word association. So the first segment is people. So I'm going to ask for a comment about the person's name. And, of course, you can make a comment about the person. And, by the way, I host a program that is not safe for work. So you can be as not safe for work as you so choose, as R-rated as you so choose. Here I go. Stefan Lofgren.
I haven't heard that name.
Oh, your Prime Minister. No. Sorry, I probably mispronounced it, but your Prime Minister.
The last name.
Is it Lufren? Lufin?
Löfven.
Oh, my God, I'm well off. I'm sorry, my apologies.
No problem. It's not the easiest language to
So there you
learn.
go. So word association. What's a word you could use to associate with Stefan?
Big nose, stand-up guy.
There you go. All right. Next one is our Prime Minister here in Australia, Malcolm Turnbull.
I'm not familiar with him. I'm sorry.
This is part of the fun of it, you see, so you can make up anything you want.
Crikey, mate.
There you go. That'll do. Glenn Benton from Deeside.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. That'll do. Frederick Thordendale.
Chugga chug chug.
Chugga chug chug. Mr. Dient himself right there. And finally, Donald Trump.
Satan himself.
You've already used that, haven't you? Oh, no, you said Hail Satan. Sorry, didn't you? Satan himself, you said Hail Satan, and now Satan himself. Fair enough.
Shit, that's right. Sorry, this is...
They're pretty close, though, but no, that's okay. I'll pay that. They're close, but, they're not the same. So
No, I'm going to change that one, actually. Wig.
Yeah. Yes. What the hell's going on with that hair? It's like, dude, just shave it or get a toupee that sticks on the top of your head or something.
Find a new hairdresser. You're the fucking president.
Yeah, he could, but I think he thinks it's his brand or something, and that he needs to keep that feral red hair that he's got.
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks, all right. All right, let's move on to part B of word association. Okay.
Yeah.
We're up to places. So the first country I've got for you is Sweden.
Meatballs.
Nice. Agreed, by the way. If I go to IKEA here, that's what they've got there. All right. Australia is the next one.
Spiders.
Yes. I was true story. I shit you not. This is the true story. I was looking at buying a pet spider tonight on the
Oh,
internet.
really?
Yeah, we
Why,
got
man? Why?
well because here's the thing. It's in context. Okay, so my kids, we live in Queensland, right, which is tropical, subtropical. So we've got lots of spiders around us. But of course, my kids are petrified of spiders. I'm not, because I've had them crawl on me. I've had huntsmans around me. I've had huntsmans crawl.
Oh,
Huntsmans are big spiders that are about the size of your hand, right? But they don't bite you. They just nip you. And my kids are scared of them. But I'm like, well, we live in Queensland. You've got to get used to it. So I was going to get what was called I looked on the internet and a place locally that sells them. They're called jungle huntsmans, and they're huge. But it's going to keep it in like a plastic like enclosure. So
yeah.
yeah, you're spot on, mate. Spiders, bang on. So a bit of synchronicity there.
You see, this is why I'm scared of touring Australia. Man. It's going to be all spiders.
Mate, most of us live in cities. I don't. I live in a regional location, but most of us live in cities. So you've not got too much worries about that. You know, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, if they're the places you tour, don't worry too much about it. There's barely any spiders there. There's probably a daddy longlegs, an occasional redback. Redbacks bite, but you'll be right. You'll be okay. You'll get to hospital in time. You won't die.
Oh, that doesn't make me feel any safer.
All right, I'll move on. Norway.
Oil and black metal.
There you go. All right. Next one. England.
Tea.
Tea. There you go. We drink a lot of tea here in Australia because we're a colony. Nice. And in honour of my wife, whose father's from Croatia, Croatia.
Game of Thrones.
Nice. Not a lot of people know it was filmed there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good call. All right. Moving on. Part C. Word association. Food. All right. Now, you're Swedish and you're disgusting, so I'm going to ask you about this one. Surströmming. What the hell is going on with that?
Well, yeah, I haven't actually tried that.
Oh, really? So is it like
But
one
it
of those
smells
things?
of death.
What the hell is it? You know, it's been banned from airlines.
It should be banned pretty much everywhere,
What?
as
Why?
far as I'm concerned, because, that was actually a prank that a lot of people pulled when we were in school. When we were kids, they would buy a tin and they would open it and like place it in the ventilation duct, and they would have to like evacuate the school within 5 minutes.
Yes. What is it going on with that? Like, so okay, I get it. You're Swedish and you think it's disgusting, as everybody does. Look, I've never smelt it, but I've seen the YouTube videos of people trying to eat it and vomiting and going into comatose states. What the hell is it with it? Why would you put fish? Why would you put fish into a can, let it go off, and then serve it? What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, it's I don't want to be all too like historical and scientific, but it's probably something that just happened. Some fish went bad, they ate it, and like, oh shit, this is going to be a tradition now.
Yeah.
No, but I've also heard that it tastes a lot better than it smells. So
oh god, have you seen?
Maybe I should try it sometime.
But have you seen the YouTube videos of people trying to eat
yeah.
it? Oh
yeah.
God, I've gagged. I'm not good with like vomiting and smells and stuff, man. So I've watched some of those videos and gagged afterwards. But look, I better move on because I know we've only got a limited period of time. Next one is, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, lingonberries.
Lingonberries. Yeah, we have those. And it makes me think of jam.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. So it's nice, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now the next one is any of that packet shit you can buy from IKEA at Loganholme. Now I don't expect you to know where Loganholme is because it's near me here in Brisbane. But IKEA, what is it with all of that packet shit that you can buy when you're picking up your prefabbed, put together yourself furniture from IKEA?
Well, nothing beats the feeling of having done something yourself. It's beautiful. It's the Swedish way.
Is that what it is? You've exported that to the world then?
Yeah, enjoy.
Nice. All right, no worries. Now, when I was chatting to Eddie Berg from Imminence, when I mentioned surströmming, he said you should try fika. And what he said fika was the civilized sharing of coffee and pastries among friends and families. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a thing for sure. It's like if you're working in an office anywhere in Sweden, it's a daily thing, more than daily. It's one before noon, one after,
Okay, all right. So it's an actual thing. Okay, I couldn't find it, so I probably misspelt it on the interweb, on the Google.
It's Fika.
Okay, I think I was doing Fikeer, so fika.
Oh,
Okay,
Fika.
gotcha. Yeah.
You are listening to Scars and Guitars, the podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and this is my conversation with Alexander Backlund from the band Letters from the Colony. This is part 2 of the conversation. For some reason, my recording software failed, and it didn't capture the introduction to the questions that I'm asking. What I'm doing here is, it's word association, and I'm choosing some band names. Let's do it.
No worries. There you go. The next one of my favourites from my youth, Bathory.
Oh, I haven't really listened to Bathory
Really?
that much, actually.
Wow. Cawthorn. I thought he's like the patron saint of metal in Sweden, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it sort of is, but, it was before our time. A little bit.
Yeah, no, agreed. Oh, well, that's it. That's the answer then, before our time. There we go. We'll use that. We'll use that one sentence there as the word association.
Awesome.
Okay. The next two should be a bit easier then. They're more contemporary. First one is In Flames.
Dreadlocks.
Yes.
That's the time when In Flames was after.
Oh, Just a Race and The Colony. Yeah, I mean, those albums are great. I don't like their recent material at all, I must say. But their older stuff is the stuff that's 20 years old and 15 years old is brilliant still.
It's brilliant. Yeah, well, I was sort of like raced on, Route to Remain and Soundtrack to Your Escape as well. I like those albums, but anything after that is.
Yeah, no, agreed. I don't know what they were thinking. They're still popular in the States though, so whatever they did has proved, shrewd in one respect. But yeah, just maybe commercially successful, but maybe critically not so much anymore. But the next band, there's two of them, because I've spoken to LG about this, but the band that I want you associated a word with is Entombed.
Entombed. Oh, seriously, the only thing I can think of is the guitar player taking a piss backstage, like against a wall.
Is that a video or you saw that? Oh, you were
back.
playing with them, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, okay. There you go. All right, well, that'll do it there. That's their words association right there, so multiple, plural. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. So we're up to question 2. All right, they go a bit quicker from here, okay? So this is not necessarily word association. This is disgusting or palatable. The first food item on the menu is oysters.
I haven't tried them, actually, but I think they would be pretty palatable.
Absolutely. One of my favourite foods. When you come down to Australia, make sure that the promoter or the agent or whoever it is gets you some oysters whilst you're down here. You can go anywhere and get them, in supermarkets or what have you. There'll be fresh oysters there. Sydney rock oysters or Pacific oysters. They are fantastic.
I have to try it. We have none in Sweden.
Yes, I imagine. But you got plenty of the next, which is herrings.
Herrings, yeah. Not that delicious, actually.
I don't mind them. I've got to tell you, I don't mind them. Roll mops and things like that I can eat. But, yeah, probably not in great quantities.
No, not in any quantity.
Okay, the next one, Vegemite. Have you tried Vegemite before?
No, I haven't, actually.
Well, you got to try that when you come down.
Stuff we put on bread or something.
Yeah, it's a beef-flavoured yeast spread. It's very similar to, I think, do you get Promite in Sweden like the Brits have got?
No, we don't.
Okay, well, that's another
pretty
thing.
Traditional over here with butter, some cheese.
Yeah, well,
the
next one alludes to that, so I'm going to totally mispronounce it here because I don't quite know how to pronounce it, but is it filmjolk or filmjolk? The yogurt.
Oh, the yogurt. Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah, cool. I thought it looks delicious. I can't pronounce. How do you say it? It's Filmj, and then there's the umlaut on the OLK.
Filmjölk.
Oh my God. Okay, right. I've got no hope. I'm sorry. Yep. All right. The next one.
It's a difficult language.
Oh yeah, that sounded like jazz. What you just did then. It was very musical, the way you pronounce it. So the next one I can pronounce, provided it is pronounced the way it looks. Glog, the wine.
Oh, Christmas, delicious. Every
Okay.
year.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, it looks awesome, by the way. But it looks like only something you could drink when it was really cold.
Yeah, it's only around Christmas. It's so like part of our tradition that, opening a bottle of glögg in July, they would like put you in prison. Something feels really weird.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, it's just not the dumb thing, not the cultural thing to do. Leave it for December.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're on to question 3. Here we go. If you were stranded on a desert island, who in the band would? And here are the following questions that I'm going to ask. You've got 4 of them. Who of the band would become the leader on a desert island?
I think that would be our rhythm guitar player, Johan Gard. He's always been the sort of responsible one who takes charge of things.
There you go. So, who would cry the most?
I think that would be me.
Okay. Who would get eaten first?
Well, that would be Sebastian, probably. There's a lot of him, so it makes more sense to
I got that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, a final question if you were stranded on a desert island or deserted island, who in the band would most likely to survive?
Yeah, well, it's probably like Gard as well, or Jonas, our drummer. He's like very, sort of muscular and doesn't care too much about anything. He'd climb a freaking tree and get the coconuts.
There you go. Very resourceful then.
Yeah, great guy.
All right. Okay. Well, that's it. I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to complete this quiz with you because I've already posted the first episode, actually, of our discussion. So I'm going to post this as part 2 and we'll see what sort of feedback we get. But before I let you go, mate, because people might be listening to this episode separately to the first one, the new album that you've just released, so we can say that now, it is in market, called Vignette. How would you describe it for the audience?
Yeah, well, it's a journey, for sure. I mean, both like musically and for us as well. I mean, making it has been, a journey. We started like way back, so there's a little bit of everything, and I mean, hopefully, like you can listen to the whole thing and it doesn't get boring. So, started the first song and work your way forward.
What I mentioned last discussion we had was that I love it because it's a hyper collaboration of melody and yentisms. And the thing that I really appreciate about you guys with the band, if the listener decides to dive into the content that you've put out there on the you've got a great sense of humour through the videos that you've posted. I recommend anybody out there check out the videos you've posted alone.
Yeah, we're idiots. Get your fill at Nuclear Blast's YouTube channel.
There you go. All right, mate, I'll let you go. Thanks so much for being a wonderful interview subject once again. It's a pleasure. Good luck with it all. And as I mentioned last time, mate, I'd love to catch up with you guys when you come down to Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry I drew so many blanks, but
it's all good. You played
maybe
along,
we
mate.
get to do this again sometime.
Mate, if we get an opportunity to do round 3, you wait. I'll have just as many questions and on very different topics, mate, but they'll elicit the same sort of, okay, let's do this. Let's have some fun with this.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be more cultural and developed human being by then.
No worries, mate. All good, mate. You've been a pleasure. Thank you so much and good luck once again.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. No worries. Cheers.
You are listening to Scars and Guitars, the podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that was my conversation with Alexander Backlund from the band Letters from the Colony. Thank you so much for listening.